being a good leader to me, in a lot of ways, is a real simple thing. It's just about being a good-natured human being and connecting with others and listening.
So standing in the gap is about giving back. It's about showing up for people who have no one else to show up for them. I am Dr. Tonjua Williams, president of St. Petersburg College, and you are listening to Standing in the Gap. You know, every now and then you get the opportunity to interview a friend. And today's episode, I am interviewing Josh Bomstein. He is a friend of the community, of the college, and we are very proud to have him here. Listen, today we got some good topics. The first topic we're talking about is what's it like to be a CEO? What does that entail? We also talk about culture and how we build culture in an organization and what to look for when you're hiring for culture to make sure that you can keep those long-standing employees. And then finally, we talk about standing in the gap to build a better community. This is exactly what Josh is doing at Creative Contractors, and I can't wait for you to hear. Let's listen. Josh, welcome. I am so glad you're here with us today. Tell us a little bit about you and what was it like being Josh Bomstein in your earlier years?
That question makes me sound a lot more important, I think, than I really am, but it is my distinct pleasure to be here with you today, so thank you very much for having me. What can I say? Growing up in Dunedin, Florida was a fairly idyllic Florida childhood. A lot of time on the water and a lot of time playing youth sports and all the typical things that, you know, young Floridians do. Had an older brother who was a great influence and role model for me, and great parents, you know, and my father who founded our company, and my mother who was always by his side. They were great role models as well, particularly around giving back to the community. And both of them always set a very high standard for doing that it was important to give of your time, talent, and treasure when you're blessed with so much to give back. And that's still important to me now, very much so.
You know, and I see that in the work that you do here in the county. And I've had the pleasure of meeting your parents, and they are still givers. They are wonderful people, and they always make me laugh. They're very proud of you and the work that you have done. There's several things I'm really proud of, but when you talk about giving back to the community, you introduced me to the Holocaust Museum board. And you've been on that board for how long?
I've been on the Holocaust Museum board for 7 years, and proud of the work that we've done together. I'm current chair of the board, and I couldn't be more proud and excited for the work that they're doing. Unfortunately, the mission is more relevant than it's ever had been. You know, so you know the work of honoring those who perished in the Holocaust and educating society around the Holocaust and all the horrors of it, and generally about anti-Semitism, is near and dear to my heart. And preventing anything like that from ever happening again is at the core of what they do. And it's been an honor, and I'm grateful to have been asked 7 years ago to join their board and to work alongside so many smart minds and great leaders. And that work is just crucial, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
It also shows me the passion that you have for people in general. You know, I think a lot of times when people see you, they think Creative Contractors. They're thinking, oh, he's building, he's doing this, when you're doing a whole lot more. And I know that museum has made such a difference in our community, not just for the Holocaust survivors, but for many groups that have been in serious situations that need that support and help. And I learned a lot about the museum by being, you know, on that board. I think about the work that you've done, but tell me a little bit more about your volunteerism in the community, because the Holocaust Museum is just one of those things.
Yes. You know, another thing that I'm very passionate about, and you know this very well, is St. Petersburg College. And I'm honored to be the chair of the St. Petersburg College Foundation. And I've been engaged with the foundation for many years, and just have a deep appreciation for the role that the college plays in our community. Sometimes not everybody knows all of the impacts that we have, and the number of lives that are touched and lives that are improved, and the great work that the college does for our community. We are so fortunate to have such a wonderful college, local college in Pinellas County with such a wonderful leader. I mean, truly, every great organization has great leadership, and it starts at the top. And it's been such an honor to get to know you and watch you in action. I learned so much from you as a leader because you really exemplify all the great characteristics of leadership, and the enthusiasm that you have is so contagious.
I didn't pay him to say this. I need to make sure you guys know this.
This is true, and so I'm appreciative of you. And kind of to get back to what you're saying, I think people think of our company, Creative Contractors, and you've asked about the volunteerism. And for me, whether it's Creative Contractors or it's volunteering at the college or at the Holocaust Museum or other entities, it really comes down to people. All of the volunteer work is to impact human lives.
That's
and
right.
the work that we do as a construction company, we're very fortunate. The types of buildings that we build, we're building schools, and we're building hospitals, and we're building churches, and we're building municipal facilities and recreation facilities, cultural facilities. These are places that people go to improve their lives and help themselves and get fit and pray and learn and heal. And I take just so much meaning and joy from that. And so for me, yes, it's about construction, and that's what we do, but the work beneath the work, it's a phrase that I like, it's about the people, and it's about the impact that these buildings can have in our community.
And what you're talking about is so critical to St. Petersburg College, our students, our community, because every single thing that you just shared is exactly what we focus on. And our students, they go to church, they make sure they go to community centers, they participate, and they get a chance to touch what Creative Contractors has built. But in addition to that, it's the work, because you also are very caring in how you hire, who you hire, and what the company mission and philosophy is. Talk a little bit more about that and how you help build community by giving people jobs.
Certainly, we have 101 local employees here, which makes us, one of the larger construction companies in the area with a great depth of resources. And most of our resources are, like you said, people. And so, for us, it's about finding great people who share our values, because we have a really strong culture around doing the right thing and placing the needs of our client above all else. In fact, that's in our mission statement. It's all about a happy client so that client would like to use us again in the future, because the bulk of our work is done for repeat clients, colleges and school districts and hospital systems and things like that.
So what kind of jobs do you have at Creative Contractors? I think people may only believe it's the hammer and nails type work, but there's so much more, from technology work, the everything. What are some of the jobs?
So, the bulk of our jobs are construction related operations. So it's project management staff, it's field supervision, superintendents, people out there building the buildings. But we have all the usual business administrative tasks, whether it's marketing and business development, accounting and HR. We have a very large pre-construction department, which are really the brain trust of the company, and it's where we work alongside our owners and our design partners during the design of a project to offer smart solutions around pricing and scheduling and constructability, so that when the design is complete, it meets the needs of our owner and can be built at the budget that they're expecting to build it for and in the time frame that they're expecting to build it for.
Important.
So there's a whole array of different types of jobs within our company and all different types of talent that we need to be successful.
So when you think about talent, especially as a college president, I'm always thinking that we are responsible for building the talent that does the work. What has been a challenge for you in finding talent, and what has changed in the workforce that you might feel, Tonjua, these are some tough things that we, in my field are grappling with?
One of the hardest things that we deal with is just the war for talent. I mean, it is, we're in a very busy real estate marketplace here and have been for many years. The war for project managers and superintendents amongst, the construction companies in the area who do what we do, it is pretty fierce, So we're very focused on recruitment and finding talented folks who will join our team and then investing in them and helping them to be successful. And we primarily are growing from within.
If a student or someone in the community said, hey, I want to work there. I want to be a member of Creative. What do they need to do? What skills do they need to have? Or maybe even better, what can the education industry do to produce more talent so that it would not be such a competitive thing between contracting companies to hire?
I'm grateful for the work that the college is doing, Pinellas County Schools, Hillsborough County Schools, all the local school districts, Pasco County, in their focus and their efforts around career and technical education, because that is very helpful and that does benefit our industry. And as we expand those programs, we have more people being exposed to the construction industry and hopefully producing more of a pipeline of talent for our industry. But folks who want to get involved in construction, I am a huge advocate of it because it's a wonderful industry. It's very exciting. It's hard work and it's not without its stresses, but we have the unique aspect in our industry of having a monument to our efforts. So we work really hard and every day is filled with challenges, but at the end of the project, there's such joy and meaning that comes from seeing a building getting used and students coming in and learning and teachers teaching or nurses coming into a hospital. And not all professions have that same magnitude of reward. And so I encourage so many to get involved in our industry, whatever that means. And if you want to come work for Creative Contractors, you just call me.
Okay.
And I will meet with you and we will talk and hopefully make a fit.
That.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things about what you just said, I want the audience to understand the jobs are there. The opportunity is there. It's just you taking that opportunity to go and check it out, to get trained, whether it's short term or on the job training. What Mr. Bomstein is saying is that construction is a valid, I think it's a very good, viable industry to go into. So don't sleep on construction. You snooze, you lose. Make sure you take advantage of that. You know, you just shared with me about the goals of your company, and that is to help people grow and make sure they get what they need. As CEO, what is your most prideful point of being CEO, and what are the things that keep you up at night being CEO?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. I think my greatest pride comes from seeing our people succeed.
That's great.
You know,
That's
there's
great.
no greater joy than watching a team work hard and achieve success beyond what they may have even thought they could achieve. And then getting that positive feedback from, you know, the client and the design partners. And then that brings me the greatest joy to see the success of others. Simultaneously, it's people that keep me up at night too, because you know, I'm always wanting to make sure that we're providing a work environment that keeps our people happy, keeps them challenged, keeps them supported, and that need for people who can deliver on all of our ideals and to exceed our clients' expectations and make sure that we do that consistently, because you earn a reputation for excellence, and then you have to keep that reputation. And my father said, you know, reputation is really everything in this industry. He just didn't know how long it was going to take to earn that reputation. It takes many years to get it. And now our task at hand is to continue to uphold his standards and maintain that reputation for excellence.
And I think that does come from the people, because your people help build your reputation. And if the people are not good, then the reputation suffers. And I think, guys out there, you do need to understand that you are who you work for and what you do. You are that person. You're always representing them. You're always out there grinding for them. And when you miss a moment, it counts. And so it's important to build that reputation, but also to keep it. It's easy to lose. It's easy to lose. And I think that what Mr. Bomstein is saying is we want to keep our standards high. Our people are important to us, and we want to make sure that all people succeed in what they're doing. And so that takes me to SPC's strategic plan. And I know it sounds weird for me to bring it up in your interview, but what you just talked about is exactly what we're trying to do. Help people, get better jobs, to live better lives, to build better communities. And you're saying, I am the place they can get a better job.
That's right.
I am interested in them getting a better life.
Right.
And with that, we're going to build a better community. Folks who work for Creative get a chance to see the outcome of their work. Folks who work at SPC, we get to see the outcome of our work. We get to see the students walk across the stage and get the job at Creative. We get to see the students who upskill, upgrade, have a better life, whose families go from poverty to prosperity. And what Josh is saying at Creative Contractors, that's exactly what they want. They want to hire people to help them upskill, right? To help them get a better job, to make enough money to live a great life. There could be no better partnership, no better opportunity to come together than something like this. And so I'm just very proud of the work you have done. I'm extremely proud of your father and your mom for starting Creative, but also for you keeping it going. And I know that there's a lot more that keeps you up at night. I think you're just being too kind. But when we're in the people business, it does take a lot, because everyone comes with a different need, a different background, a different way of living. So my last question is, at Creative, how do you balance that? You have a new person coming in, they've never worked before, or they've poorly worked in the past, maybe need a little training. How do you maneuver through all of that?
That's a great question, and I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. We're very aligned in our missions and our philosophies. As far as people at different stages of their career and levels of success and talents, our projects, so let's talk about the projects specifically, they're built by a team of people.
Gotcha.
Right? So there's anywhere from 3 to 5 or more of our team members building a project. So if we have somebody new who's less experienced, and they may be in a more of an assistant role, or what we call project engineer, they're going to be teamed with somebody who's been with us probably 15 to 20 years.
So
and
they
that's
get someone who can
senior level project manager, and that project manager knows the Creative way, and they know our culture and how we do things, and what our values are around respect and timeliness and good communication and transparency, and they will model that, and they will be a mentor, to those who are just entering.
That's great.
The company. But it really does all come down to a culture, and as a leader, you exemplify the culture that you want everybody else to embody. And one time somebody told me that culture, what is culture? And you say, it's the way somebody behaves when nobody's watching. And so we have a really strong culture at Creative, and it's around doing the right thing and putting the needs of others ahead of our own. And that has been paramount to our success. And having folks who have been with us a long time and such tenure, I'm so grateful every day that I get up to have the wonderful team members that we have at Creative who exemplify our values and live them every day. And that's what earns us our great reputation.
What would you tell the audience that they would need to know about being a leader? What would you tell them? Because you grew up under a strong leader, your dad, watching the business grow, enjoying life as a kid, but now you are the CEO. What would you tell the audience about what it's like being the CEO? What would you say?
Being a good leader, to me, in a lot of ways, is a real simple thing. It's just about being a good-natured human being.
I know that's
and
right.
connecting with others and listening, really listening, because really listening is an important skill set and very valuable to being a good leader. And I think being willing to be vulnerable and show your own flaws. I used to get caught in the trap that the leader has to have all the answers and know everything and never show weakness. And that's a real trap,
That is a trap.
And I had to learn that being a good leader is admitting what you don't know.
Exactly.
And being a good leader also means hiring people who
know more than
know
you
more than you,
Yeah.
which has been paramount to my father's success and certainly to mine. And I think, genuinely caring about your people and being willing to go to bat for them and putting them first.
Yep.
There's a great book by
Yep.
Simon Sinek called Leaders Eat Last. And I always think about that, or often think about, putting your
Yeah.
people before your own personal goals and desires.
I know that all too well. I think people think leadership means that you run the ship. Leadership is exactly what you're saying. It's about building other leaders. It's about making sure that there's more folks coming behind you who can do that job. It's about saying sorry when you're wrong. It's about saying, I don't understand, even if you're the leader. And it's about promoting others and their skills, as Josh said, putting others first, eating last, sometimes not eating at all. I think that once people learn that leadership, and I think Josh said it, and I'm going to say it a different way, it's servanthood. It's about how we serve others and support others and make sure that they have what they need to eat, that they are strong, because a leader is only as good as their team. And if the team is weak, the leader's going to be weak. And so true leadership is exactly what he's saying, putting people first, putting your team first, making sure they have the resources they need, making sure they have everything to be successful, the training, whatever it is, the mentorship, right? Yep. Placing new hires with, legacy hires, those who've been there a long time. That's what that's about. And so now we've asked him the tough question about leadership. When you're hiring for a young person who's trying to come in, what skills are you looking for? I mean, I'm hearing about the creative way and being kind and caring and on time and those things. What are you looking for when you hire?
Aside from a technical skill set,
Right.
most often there's some design education or construction
Right.
or some type of technical education. Aside from that, we're looking for people who are prepared to work hard.
Work hard.
This is an industry that requires that. And also, and it may sound trite, but I know it to be true, folks who share our values. Because the folks who share our values around there's a down-to-earthness at Creative Contractors. There's not a lot of egos, right? And it's a team, and it's a collaborative environment. And people who can share that ethos about finding success together, they're going to find their spot in our company, and they're going to be with us a very long time. And I know this to be true because I've watched it happen for many years. We have team members who've been with us for 30 and more years in our 50-year history.
Wow.
You don't stay at a place for that long,
Unless
you love it.
Unless you love
and
it.
you have found a home there.
And you believe in it.
And so, while we are a large construction company and we've got sophisticated systems and processes and resources, I really think of it as a big family.
Big family.
So
in a big family, there are moments when you have give and take. There are moments when you have to be honest with each other. But there are also moments when you have to say, okay, I don't really know how to do this, so I need to back up. Or I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Being able to work together for the common good, collective impact, making things happen. And so I appreciate you sharing that, because our young people in the audience need to understand that you can have the technical skill, but if you do not have the right attitude, acumen, and belief in the company, you may not be a good fit. And so it's not just the paper, it's not just the degree or the certification, it's also the will, the ability to say, I'm all in, and I believe in what this company is.
In fact, that's all more important than the technical skills. The technical part of our business can be taught
trained. You can teach
and trained.
So Josh is saying you can actually be trained, but the acumen of caring and being a part of a team, give and take, being accountable, being responsible, learning how to say, I don't know how to do it, or to back up, but also, even if you don't get your way, being able to work with that team and keep moving is more valuable. And so those are the skills that he looks for. So as we're sharpening the saw out there and we're trying to make sure we're prepared for the workforce, make sure you sharpen the saw on that side of the house so you can do a good job. So I want to ask one more question about the foundation.
We have a charitable foundation through the company.
Okay.
We don't have a family foundation.
Well, tell me about the charitable foundation.
Part of the culture of our company in giving back, and I said this partially in an answer to a previous question, is giving of your time, talent, and treasure. So the treasure is an important piece, and all of the entities for whom we build are mostly public entities, or they're quasi-public, or they're nonprofits, and they are all raising money to help, fund their operations. And so it's incumbent upon us to give back to those who help make us successful. So we are very charitable, both professionally and personally, to give back to the organizations we build for and many other great community organizations. I think that when you're blessed with a lot, it really truly is incumbent upon you to share that as best that you can.
Wow.
My father, somebody one time told him, give until it feels good. It should feel good.
I like that.
When you give. It shouldn't hurt.
It shouldn't hurt.
It shouldn't hurt. It should feel good. And, it feels very good to be able to support
give.
so many great organizations.
Wow. So Josh, I know that you're very busy and we're in some of the same places a lot. And you have a family, and I know that they make a lot of sacrifices for you to be here. Can you tell us about your family and who they are, and so we could thank them for sharing you with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't do anything that I do without the support of my family. In fact, that's kind of why I do everything I do. Is really, I have a wonderfully supportive wife, Lindsay, and we're celebrating our 20th anniversary in just a couple of months. And I've got 3 wonderful young kids, age 17, 14, and 8. And coming home to them every night is, the fruit of the labor, and it's so enriching and means everything to me to have their support, because it is a lot of time away, and it's not just a 9-to-5 job, and there's events at night and there's events on the weekends, and I couldn't be more appreciative for them suffering through it with me.
I know it.
Couldn't do it without them.
Amen.
What do they say? Behind every successful man or woman, there's a strong wife at home, or strong husband at home, and a shocked mother-in-law.
Hey, Lindsay, listen, thank you so much for sharing Josh with us. I know that there are times you have to stand in the gap for him to do what he's doing, and we are so grateful to you for all that you have done. I know you may feel that, I've done nothing, but there's a lot of buildings and a lot of individuals who go in and out of those buildings because of what you do, so that Josh does what he does. So thank you so much for all of that. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.